Ever wondered about the roots of the fascinating nation that is Japan, and how it evolved through time? Our journey begins in the misty realms of the Jomon period, dating back to around 14,000 years ago. This era, named after the distinctive cord-marked pottery, saw the Japanese people leading a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. They were masters of the earth, crafting intricate pottery, and surviving off the land and sea. Amid the serenity of the forests and the rhythm of the ocean, they wove the first threads of a culture that would continue to thrive for millennia. The wheel of time turned, and the Jomon period gave way to the Yayoi era, around 300 BC. This was a time of change and progress. The Japanese people discovered the magic of wet rice farming, a practice that not only fed the growing population, but also shaped the landscape and created a sense of community. Alongside this agricultural revolution, they also embraced the art of metallurgy, casting tools and weapons in bronze and later, iron. As the Yayoi period faded into the shadows of history, the Kofun period emerged around the 3rd century AD, characterized by massive keyhole-shaped burial mounds. This era saw the birth of social classes and the establishment of the Yamato kingdom, laying the foundation for a centralized government. It was a time when the society was stratified, and the concepts of rulers and subjects took firm root, setting the stage for the future political structure of Japan. From pottery masters to rice cultivators, from hunters and gatherers to metallurgists and kingdom builders, Japan's ancient past laid the groundwork for a nation that would continue to evolve. The seeds sown during these ancient times would blossom into a rich culture that is uniquely Japanese, a culture that harmoniously blends tradition with innovation. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into the shift towards a centralized government and how it shaped the destiny of this intriguing nation. From pottery masters to rice cultivators, Japan's ancient past laid the groundwork for a nation that would continue to evolve. How did Japan transition from a tribal society to a centralized feudal system? Well, let's delve into the captivating narrative of Japan's historical shift towards a centralized government. Our story begins in the Asuka period, which spanned from the late 6th to the early 8th century. This era was characterized by significant cultural and political transformations. Most notably, Buddhism and the Chinese writing system were introduced, both of which had profound effects on Japanese society. Buddhism offered a new spiritual perspective, while the Chinese writing system enabled the recording and transmission of knowledge, culture, and law. But the Asuka period was also a time of political evolution. The Yamato clan began to consolidate power, marking the beginning of Japan's shift from a tribal society to a centralized state. This shift was further propelled by the adoption of the Chinese style of governance, leading to the establishment of a centralized bureaucratic system. The Nara period, which followed the Asuka period, saw a blossoming of culture, underpinned by the growing influence of Buddhism and Chinese culture. Poetry, literature, and art flourished, resulting in timeless classics such as the Manyoshu, a collection of over 4,000 poems. Then came the Heian period, a time of relative peace, but also political intrigue. The power of the emperor began to wane, and in its place the first shogunate was established, a military government led by a shogun. This marked a significant shift in Japan's political structure. As the samurai class rose to prominence, a new culture emerged, one that valued martial prowess as well as aesthetic refinement. So, in essence, what we see, from the Asuka to the Heian period, is a gradual but profound shift. Japan transitioned from a tribal society to a bureaucratic state, and eventually to a feudal system dominated by military rule. The seeds of feudalism were sown, setting the stage for a long period of warriors and shoguns. What happens when the power shifts from the emperor to military leaders? This question marks the beginning of the Kamakura period, a pivotal chapter in Japan's history, where the mighty shoguns rise into power and the samurai become the backbone of the society. For much of Japan's history, the emperor was the highest authority. But during the Kamakura period, starting in the late 12th century, a seismic shift occurred. The emperor's power started to wane, and the shoguns, military leaders of samurai warriors, began to rise. The samurai, bound by a strict code of honor and discipline, became the enforcers of law and order, shaping Japan's society and culture in profound ways. Meanwhile, Japan faced external threats. The Mongols, under the command of Kublai Khan, attempted to invade Japan not once, but twice. Yet the samurai, with their indomitable spirit and superior tactics, repelled the invasions. a testament to their prowess and resilience. As we transition into the Muromachi period, a significant event looms large: the Onin War. A civil war that lasted for over a decade. It left Kyoto in ruins and Japan fragmented, leading to the Warring States period. The country became a chessboard of daimyos or feudal lords, each vying for power. Then comes the Momoyama period, an era marked by the unification efforts of one man, Toyotomi Hideyoshi. He was a commoner who rose through the ranks to become a military leader. His ambition? To unify Japan under one rule. Despite his untimely death, his vision laid the groundwork for the unification that would eventually come. In the midst of chaos and war, Japan was gradually moving towards unification. The era of shoguns and samurai, while fraught with conflict and upheaval, set the stage for the birth of a unified Japan. It was a period that showcased the resilience, the courage, and the strategic brilliance of its people. Not just a time of warriors and battles, but also an era that fundamentally shaped the nation's identity. What transformations did Japan undergo in its journey towards modernization? We're stepping into the Edo period, a time of unification and isolation under the Tokugawa shogunate. After a long era of civil war, the shogunate established a centralized government, bringing a sense of stability and peace. But it came with a price. The shogunate implemented the Sakoku, or closed country policy, effectively cutting off Japan from the rest of the world. Yet within these closed borders a distinct and vibrant culture flourished. Kabuki theater, ukiyo-e woodblock prints, and the tea ceremony became symbols of this era, reflecting the spirit of the time. But the winds of change were blowing once again. The Edo period came to an end with the Meiji Restoration in the late 19th century. This was a dramatic shift from feudal Japan to a modern state. The shogunate was abolished, and the emperor was restored to power. But this wasn't a step back to the old ways. Instead, the Meiji government looked outward, adopting Western technology, education, and political structures. The country was modernizing at a rapid pace, eager to catch up with the rest of the world. The Meiji era ushered in what's known as the Taisho democracy, a brief but significant period of political liberalism. The reins of power were loosening, and the voices of the people were starting to be heard. But the democracy was short-lived, giving way to the Showa period, marked by militarism and ultimately leading to World War II. From isolation to rapid modernization, Japan's journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. This period of Japan's history is a testament to its resilience and adaptability, a nation that has repeatedly reinvented itself, often against the odds. It's a journey that continues today, as Japan navigates its way in the ever-evolving world stage, maintaining its unique cultural identity while embracing the challenges and opportunities of the modern world. How did Japan rise from the ashes of World War II to become a global powerhouse? A question that invites us to delve into the remarkable journey of post-war Japan. In the immediate aftermath of the war, the nation found itself in ruins, both physically and economically. Yet under the guidance of the Allied occupation, Japan undertook a process of democratization and economic reform. This period of reconstruction laid the groundwork for what was to come, a time of unprecedented growth known as the economic miracle. From the mid-1950s to the early 1970s, Japan experienced rapid industrialization and economic growth. It was a transformative time, as Japan shifted from a war-torn nation to a thriving economic powerhouse. This was the era of the bubble economy, a time of soaring asset prices and increased consumer spending. But as with all bubbles, it eventually burst. The burst led to the Heisei era, a period marked by economic stagnation and a series of challenges. The 90s, often referred to as the lost decade, saw Japan grappling with a sluggish economy and financial crises. The Heisei era, however, was not just about economic woes, it was also a time of resilience and innovation. In the face of the devastating 2011 earthquake and tsunami, the nation demonstrated its strength and determination. The recovery efforts were a testament to the spirit of the Japanese people and their ability to overcome adversity. In 2019, the Heisei era drew to a close with the abdication of Emperor Akihito, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. Yet the legacy of this era remains, leaving a profound impact on Japan's identity. From devastation to prosperity, Japan's resilience and innovation have shaped its modern identity. It's a tale of transformation, a testament to the spirit of a nation that never ceases to amaze. As we look to the future, one can only wonder what the next chapter in Japan's story will bring. So, what does the history of Japan tell us? The narrative of Japan is a fascinating journey, a story of transformation from an ancient mystical tribal society to a modern and innovative nation. We've traversed the epochs, from the mysteries of Japan's ancient past, through the shift towards a centralized government, the era of shoguns and samurai, the periods of unification, isolation and modernization, to post-war Japan and the Heisei era. This journey through time highlights the resilience and adaptability of the Japanese people. The country's history has been marked by periods of great turmoil and change, yet through each transition, Japan has managed to retain its unique culture while embracing the new. It's a testament to the importance of understanding history to appreciate a nation's present. After all, today's Japan is a direct product of its rich history. Japan's history is a testament to the nation's resilience and innovation, a journey marked by transformation and evolution.